And welcome back to The Price of Business. This is Sigmund Kramer in for Kevin Price. I have with me right now Charles Alvarez, wonderful contributor to The Price of Business. Charles, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Sigmund. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks. And Charles is with Cornerstone Business Academy. He's been just a wonderful contributor to The Price of Business for a couple of years now. Charles, what are you bringing today?
Well, I am so excited to have with me Evelyn Shea. She's actually a perennial guest on the Fast 100 list, and we're so excited to have her on to talk to us about the very, very critical element that most businesses ignore, which is how they position themselves through writing and through technical writing out into the marketplace. Evelyn, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Charles and Sigmund. It's nice to be here.
Awesome. Well, Evelyn, kind of give us an overview or tell us about your business and what it is that you do for your clients.
So we're a technical writing and training business. We've been in business 18 years. What we do, we tell our clients we create clarity out of chaos, one sentence at a time. What we do is we assist our clients in developing operations manuals, procedures, basically all the documentation that they need to run their business or to inform their clients about their business. We also develop custom training for our clients. Very often that goes hand in hand with the documentation that we develop. In addition to that, we teach technical writing and business writing, proposal writing, things along those lines. And last year, we were very excited to add a new subsidiary to our company. We call it Capability and Compliance Solutions, and it's there to address the need for preparing the next generation. Basically, what we're doing there is we're helping to define training needs based on job performance requirements, standards, and regulations. Then we develop job profiles that explain the knowledge and skills competency that are required for effective and safe task performance. And then we take it one step further and help our clients by designing courses to help them train their assessors who are going to do workplace assessments to verify that the persons in particular positions have the competency to do their job. A lot of that is regulatory-based, but it's also just a good idea.
That's awesome. So, Evelyn, kind of give us an example of what type of challenges a business would be facing, because you and I kind of provide services that they don't realize they may have a challenge until it's like, well, if you're struggling with this area, your business could be that much better, right? So, kind of give us an idea of what type of challenges or what type of frustrations would the market be experiencing, and then how do you address those challenges with your training, your custom training, your operation, your documentation, et cetera, et cetera?
So, great question. So one of the main things that we're helping our clients with is knowledge transfer and even knowledge capture. And we see that in two main areas, and particularly with the current economy. We have many of our clients in the downstream space are growing quite rapidly. They're building new facilities, or there are other businesses that are just growing and hiring more people. And you start to dilute the knowledge base within your company when you go from 3 to 10 people, from 100 to 300 people. Now you've got many fewer people that know how to do the job. If you don't have your procedures documented, then it's all word of mouth, and you might be having somebody who's been on the job for a month training somebody who's been on the job for a day, and you're losing some of that deep knowledge that you have. We also are seeing a lot of retirements and layoffs, and that's causing the very experienced people to walk out the door with their knowledge. So when you take the time to develop the procedures and document your business, you are retaining that knowledge within the business, but you also are adding value to the business. You're making it scalable and repeatable. You're improving your employees' performance, and you're improving the consistency of the service that you're providing, whether you're developing products or manufacturing, or you're providing a service to a customer. And finally, you're reducing risk to the business, obviously, from having the knowledge kept in place so that you're doing things the way you intend to be doing them. But in many situations, people are working in risky jobs, And if we've got good, well-documented, well-thought-out, and verified procedures, then we're reducing risk of harm to the employee or harm to the community or the environment, and even damage to equipment, which can be expensive. Mm-hmm. Some of our clients work in very dangerous industries, and we recognize that by having good procedures, we're actually helping them to save lives.
Well, that was going to be my question for you, Evelyn, is what types of industries do you typically work in? Is there a sweet spot for your business working with a certain type of industry?
Well, we've built our business on referrals and networking and reputation. So we started in the oil and gas business, basically upstream oil and gas. That's working with the getting the hydrocarbons out of the ground and initial processing of them, and then putting them into pipelines. That's kind of the midstream area. We do a lot there. And then we're also working downstream, which is where the refinery and chemical processing happens. But we've worked with many manufacturers, and we've worked some in the medical space and finance and even hospitality services. The nature of the methodology that we use is our clients are the subject matter experts, and so we rely on them to give us the technical content, and they rely on us to help ensure that everything is actually correctly documented and is addressing the need of the user of the documentation, as opposed to the subject matter expert who knows everything and might leave some things out.
Great. Charles?
So, Evelyn, how would you answer the business owner who says, what good is this, creating this operations manual, this process document, it's just going to sit there on a shelf or a file server that nobody can find? How do you make that documentation, I guess for lack of a better word, user-friendly?
So that's exactly what our goal is we approach it from the perspective of the user. And this is where we really add a lot of value, because we are not a member of our client's company. We haven't been trained by them. We don't know the way they do things. We instead can step more into the role of perhaps a new hire to the business, somebody who's going to be learning how to do this job. And we will ask the questions that person will ask. Very often when people are developing their own procedures internally, they get their smartest people to do it, which is great because they know everything. But they forget the little details that you need to tell somebody who's just starting in the position. And the procedures really shouldn't just be sitting on the shelf. They're really adding value to your company when you're using them on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and keeping them refreshed and up to date with new changes in the business or the way you're running things, or perhaps putting some new equipment or part of the process in place. You need to update your procedures to reflect that. And it really does add value to the company. As a small business owner, one of the things that I look at is, potential exit, and who's going to buy my company if I'm the only one who knows how to run it. But if I've documented how to do things, then I'm not as critical to the business, and I can exit the business and somebody else can take it over. For our clients who are mostly publicly traded companies, again, they need to have value in their business as well, and this is one of the ways that they do that.
So what size businesses do you tend to work with?
We mostly work with Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies. Those are our
enterprise level. Yeah, enterprise level.
Okay. Yeah. But we've worked with small businesses as well. It's just not as often. Our bigger clients are our biggest part of our client base are the enterprise.
Well,
level.
they tend to have the situation that needs a lot of procedures to be laid out. More so than the really small businesses. Charles?
So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, if one of those enterprise clients who are listening to our show want to start the process, what's the best way to get started in building that relationship with you and getting them started? What's the best way to go about it?
Well, let's have a conversation. Very often we'll meet in person or do a virtual meeting to understand what their needs are, what they're trying to accomplish. If they've got some documentation already, we'll take a look at that and maybe make some recommendations of how to proceed. And then once we understand the scope of what they're trying to do, we'll prepare a proposal, and once that's approved, then we start working with them. It's a very iterative basis because we're working with their subject matter experts to get the documentation, so they're always in control of the content.
And what is your website and best number to reach you at?
Our website is sheaws.com. That's WS for Writing Solutions. And our phone number is 723-9142.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Evelyn, for being on our show. We really appreciated it. And I could not agree more. One of the biggest issues is that the knowledge is only tied up in a few people, really roughly about 20%, just kind of following the 80-20 rule. So if you're looking to get your business documented and reduce that risk, I highly recommend giving Evelyn a call at sheaws.com. Thank you for being on the show, Evelyn.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks, Charles. And Charles, real quick, how do they get in touch with you?
You can go to cornerstonebusinessacademy.com, where we just published 10 videos on how to generate an additional $10,000 in sales in 45 minutes or less. So get those videos and start seeing money coming out of your sock drawer.
Sounds good. Folks, stay tuned for The Price of Business. Got more coming up next.